Morning, Abotai. Very common occurrence is that a lot of people go away for Pesach. Now, the Gemara tells us in Masechet Pesachim, it's brought down in Halacha by Maran Shulchan Aruch in Siman Taf Lamed Vav, that when a person leaves home within 30 days of Pesach, which means already starts from Purim, even if his kavanah is not to return home during Pesach at all, before he leaves, he has to do b'dikat chametz. He has to search for chametz by candlelight the last night that he's home without a bracha. The only time you make a bracha is on the night of the 14th of Nisan. But otherwise, you would check by candlelight, but without a bracha. Now, what people usually do when they're leaving home for Pesach is that they leave the house, and the house is full of chametz in the pantries, on the counters, everywhere. Just what? They sell their chametz before they leave, and they rely on the sale of chametz, and they just leave the house without checking for chametz. There are two possible issues with doing so. Number one is that, first of all, a person is removing himself from the mitzvah of searching for and eliminating the chametz. That's a positive mitzvah, even though it's midrabanan, but it's a positive mitzvah that a person should do. The Gemara tells us in Menachot Af Mem Aleph that when a person does not do positive mitzvot, when HaKadosh Baruch Hu is angry at certain times, HaKadosh Baruch Hu punishes for that. That's number one. Number two is that there's machloket HaPoskim. When does the sale of chametz usually happen? On the morning of the 14th of Nisan, on the morning of Erev Pesach. When is b'dikat chametz take effect? The night before. There's a machloket HaPoskim. Even if I plan to sell things the day after, the morning after, am I chayav in b'dikat chametz the night before? So if I'm relying on my b'dikat chametz and I'm leaving on my mechirat chametz, on the sale of chametz, and I'm leaving the house without searching, there's many poskim, Chaya Adam and others, that say you still have a chovav b'dikat chametz at that time because the chametz still hasn't been sold. Halacha, Hagan Or Letzion and Chelek Gimal writes that a person, before he leaves, even if he's selling his chametz, you should write on the shtad, you should write on the power of attorney that you're selling the entire house, besides for one room that you're not selling. And in doing so, when you don't sell that room, the night before you leave, you check that room without a bracha by candlelight, and you will have fulfilled your mitzvah b'dikat chametz. Hagon Yelkut Yosef adds that if this is not possible, if you cannot not sell one room, he says what you do is preferably to have your chametz sold on the 13th of Nisan, a day early, so that by the time the night of the 14th of Nisan comes, it's already sold to a goy, and according to all opinions, you won't have to check. Gavriel writes in his Hot Pesach, he says, this all applies if a person where he's going is going to somebody else's house where he's not really going to be able to check because the Baal Habayit is going to check. But if you're going somewhere where you'll have a chovat to check where you are, for instance, if a person's going to a hotel, if a person's going to an Airbnb, or whatever it is, such that wherever you'll be on the night of b'dikat chametz, on the night of the 14th of Nisan, you have a chovat to check there. Over there, there's no issue whatsoever. You can leave your house without checking, rely on mechirat chametz, and wherever you are on the 14th of Nisan, in your hotel room, in your Airbnb, whatever it is, you do b'dikat chametz over there, and that's how you'll fulfill the mitzvah of b'dikat chametz. Have a wonderful day.